Section 7 of the Second Jungle Book. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Second Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Section 7. Letting in the Jungle, Part 1. Veil them, cover them, wall them round, blossom and creeper and weed. Let us forget the sight and the sound, the smell and the touch of the breed. Fat black ash by the altar stone, here is the whitefoot rain. And the does bring forth in the fields unsown, and none shall affright them again. And the blind walls crumble, unknown, overthrown, and none shall inhabit again. You will remember that after Mowgli had pinned Shere Khan's hide to the Council Rock, he told as many as were left of the Seeonee pack that henceforth he would hunt in the jungle alone, and the 4 children of Mother and Father Wolf said that they would hunt with him. But it is not easy to change one's life all in a minute, particularly in the jungle. The first thing Mowgli did, when the disorderly pack had slunk off, was to go to the home cave and sleep for a day and a night. Then he told Mother Wolf and Father Wolf as much as they could understand of his adventures among man. And when he made the morning sun flicker up and down the blade of his skinning knife, the same he had skinned Shere Khan with, they said he had learned something. Then Akela and Grey Brother had to explain their share of the great buffalo drive in the ravine, and Baloo toiled up the hill to hear all about it, and Bagheera scratched himself all over with pure delight at the way in which Mowgli had managed his war. It was long after sunrise, but no one dreamt of going to sleep, and from time to time, during the talk, Mother Wolf would throw up her head and sniff a deep snuff of satisfaction, as the wind brought her the smell of the tiger's skin on the Council Rock. "But for Akela and Grey Brother here," Mowgli said at the end, "I could have done nothing. Oh, Mother, Mother, if thou hadst seen the black herd bulls pour down the ravine, or hurry through the gates when the Man Pack flung stones at me!" "I am glad I did not see that last," said Mother Wolf stiffly. "It is not my custom to suffer my cubs to be driven to and fro like jackals. I would have taken a price from the Man Pack, but I would have spared the woman who gave thee the milk. Yes, I would have spared her alone." "Peace, peace, Raksha," said Father Wolf, lazily. "Our frog has come back again, so wise that his own father must lick his feet. And what is a cut more or less on the head? Leave man alone." Baloo and Bagheera both echoed, "Leave man alone." Mowgli, his head on Mother Wolf's side, smiled contentedly, and said that for his own part he never wished to see or hear or smell man again. "But what," said Akela, cocking one ear, "but what if man do not leave thee alone, Little Brother?" "We be 5," said Grey Brother, looking round at the company and snapping his jaws on the last word. "We also might attend to that hunting," said Bagheera, with a little switch of his tail, looking at Baloo. "But why think of man now, Akela?" "For this reason," the Lone Wolf answered. "When that yellow chief's hide was hung up on the rock, I went back along our trail to the village, stepping in my tracks, turning aside and lying down, to make a mixed trail in case one should follow us. But when I had fouled the trail so that I myself hardly knew it again, Mang, the bat, came hawking between the trees and hung up above me. Said Mang, 'The village of the Man Pack, where they cast out the man cub, hums like a hornet's nest.'" "It was a big stone that I threw," chuckled Mowgli, who had often amused himself by throwing ripe pawpaws into a hornet's nest, and racing off to the nearest pool before the hornets caught him. "I asked of Mang what he had seen, but he said that the red flower blossomed at the gate of the village, and men sat about it carrying guns. Now I know, for I've good cause." Akela looked down at the old dry scars on his flank and side, "that men do not carry guns for pleasure. Presently, Little Brother, a man with a gun follows our trail, if indeed he be not already on it." "But why should he? Men have cast me out. What more do they need?" said Mowgli angrily. "Thou art a man, Little Brother," Akela returned. "It is not for us, the free hunters, to tell what thee and thy brethren do, or why." He had just time to snatch up his paw as the skinning knife cut deep into the ground below. Mowgli struck quicker than an average human eye could follow, but Akela was a wolf, and even a dog who is very far removed from the wild wolf, his ancestor, can be waked out of deep sleep by a cartwheel touching his flank, and can spring away unharmed before that wheel comes on. "Another time," Mowgli said quietly, returning the knife to its sheath. "Speak of the Man Pack and of Mowgli in two breaths, not one." "Pfft! That is a sharp tooth," said Akela, snuffing at the blades cut in the earth. "But living with the Man Pack has spoiled thine eye, Little Brother. I could have killed a buck while thou wast striking." Bagheera sprang to his feet, thrust up his head as far as he could, sniffed, and stiffened through every curve in his body. Gray Brother followed his example quickly, keeping a little to his left to get the wind that was blowing from the right, while Akela bounded 50 yards upwind and, half crouching, stiffened too. Mowgli looked on enviously. He could smell things as very few human beings could, but he had never reached the hair-trigger-like sensitiveness of a Jungle nose, and his 3 months in the smoky village had set him back sadly. However, he dampened his finger, rubbed it on his nose, and stood erect to catch the upper scent, which, though it is the faintest, is the truest. "Man!" Akela growled, dropping on his haunches. "Buldeo," said Mowgli, sitting down. "He follows our trail, and yonder is the sunlight on his gun. Look!" It was no more than a splash of sunlight, for a fraction of a second, on the brass clamps of the old Tower musket. But nothing in the Jungle winks with just that flash, except when the clouds race over the sky. Then a piece of mica, or a little pool, or even a highly polished leaf will flash like a heliograph. But that day was cloudless and still. "I knew Man would follow," said Akela triumphantly. "Not for nothing have I led the Pack." The 4 cubs said nothing, but ran downhill on their bellies, melting into the thorn and underbrush like a mole melts into a lawn. "Where go ye, and without word?" Mowgli called. "Hush! We roll his skull before midday," Gray Brother answered. "Back, back, and wait! Man does not eat man!" Mowgli shrieked. "Who was a wolf but now? Who drove the knife at me for thinking he might be Man?" said Akela, as the 4 wolves turned back sullenly and dropped to heel. "Am I to give reason for all I choose to do?" said Mowgli furiously. "That is Man. There speaks Man," Bagheera muttered under his whiskers. "Even so did men talk round the king's cages at Uddipori. We of the Jungle know that Man is wisest of all. If we trusted our ears we should know that of all things he is most foolish." Raising his voice, he added, "The Man cub is right in this. Men hunt in packs. to kill one unless we know what the others will do,